there you have a requirement with you, please check this particular requirement. Even in non-functional testing also, we consider that as a requirement. Okay, but the problem here is we consider the requirement based on some conditions. We have 3 to 4 set of criteria. If it is passing that criteria, we will consider that business process or the requirement as non-functional testing requirement. Okay, so to do that, first we should understand what is business process. Business process is it is a set of actions. Okay, it is set of actions to do some activity. Example, suppose creating a Gmail account, logging into Facebook, checking your status. All these are the business process. Okay, so example, if you see in this document, it is saying hiring an employee, searching for a product, changing an employee status. So it is some activity which will be accomplished. Okay, by doing those steps. It is not a single step, it is a group of steps which we have to perform to complete that activity. That can be considered as business process. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So in the business process, I said there will be some conditions where we finalize non-functional requirement as the finalized NFR. Okay, to do that, these are the conditions. How do you decide which business process to record? To understand that, you should analyze each requirement with the 3 below conditions. Is it mission critical? You should understand what is mission critical. Okay, if this requirement,
Yes, ma'am. Business critical.
business, yeah. If it is, suppose if you go to ICICI Bank or something, checking the account balance and transferring funds are the main important things. Like if it is a bank, we have to transfer funds and then checking the funds, and all these are important things in terms of bank. If you go to any ticket booking, air ticket booking website, my ticket booking or something, some website, if you see there, booking a ticket is the main thing. So we should understand which requirement is the business critical scenario. Those scenarios or those business processes we have to finalize as NFRs. And next one is heavy use or volume. Volume in the sense, suppose you go to IRCTC website, booking a ticket is a main critical scenario. But also before booking a ticket, what they actually do, they will search it. They will search the database. They will go for different locations. From Chennai to Bangalore, Bangalore to Kerala. What are the different tickets? What are the different trains available? What are the different classes available? But the main thing what they do is heavy usage of the database values. Correct here? What are the locations and what is a fee value, fee fare between these two locations? All this is a heavy usage or volume data usage of a database server. So database tables they will try to retrieve using SQL procedures in the back end, but in the front end what they actually give is they'll give the to location and the from location, and then they'll click on search. So this search might be multiple times, 100 times, but only ticket booking will be only 2 to 3 times. But still ticket booking is a critical scenario. This search is a very important volume scenario, heavy use or volume scenario. You understood the difference?
No, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And also the dynamic content. Dynamic content in the sense, it is also a similar to volume usage. The moment you change the input and output, like that to and fro location, the content of the page is keep on changing for each and every value. Correct? So the page content will change. Suppose if you go to any e-commerce website, as you said that you have worked earlier, in the e-commerce website what you are actually doing, you are just keeping the rate of the product, and then suppose if it is 2 products, what is the cost, or if it is a different product, what is the page, how the page is changing. All this is a dynamic content which is changing. So you should understand these type of functionalities will be deployed on the application server. So mainly we concentrate the data which is deployed on the application server and the DB server. The scenarios which are concentrating mostly on the application server and the DB server, we are doing this, we are finalizing this NFRs. Clear?
Okay, ma'am. I'll put some words here. You already explained regarding the static content and dynamic content. Okay. Static content never changes and they will be residing within the web server. Okay.
Correct.
And as and when we call, they will be fetched directly. So whereas with respect to the dynamic content, we use the content management systems maybe, and from there the data will be fetched. For example, for the dynamic content pages, it varies depending upon the data it is fetching. For example, if it is a file, the response time will be different. If it is an image, the response time will be different. If it is an audio file, the response time will be different. If it is a video, again the response time will be different.
It will take more time to retrieve
yes,
the video.
this is what you meant to say right now, ma'am.
Yes, you are saying in terms of front end part. Okay, we are speaking. See, suppose you said like if it is the front end content management system, what you said it is correct. Okay, content in the sense. So if the if the website or an application is updating frequently, what they actually do is they'll use some content management tools like Adobe CQ5. All these are content management tools. They go there and they simply update the data from the front end part. Okay, so that means when they are updating, it is just automatically updating in the back end obviously, and then so you are seeing from the front end part. But being a performance tester, what you have to do actually is see from the back end part. Suppose if they are updating frequently, what is happening in the application server? It has stored. Okay, you have to think in a perspective like getting the data from the server. If it is a video, obviously it will take time. So for video, if it is grabbing it from the server, if it is getting too late, why is it getting too late? Because my bandwidth is low, or the system is not responding because multiple users are present at that time, or you have to understand in these scenarios. Clear? You said what you said is correct, but it is only for one person, and it is from front end perspective what you said is correct. But what I'm saying is think in the other way. Go to back end and then think that multiple people are using at the same time, then you will understand the reason why it is getting delayed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, so to understand a clear business process, so this is a business process. So this is like logging. How can I? 1 second. Okay. I said one business process. So one business process here is like they have started one application, they logged in, and then they have select flight. They have entered the to and flight departure locations, and then they want to book a ticket. In this case, they have done a simple steps. They have written a simple steps to book a flight ticket. So I would like to explain you one concept here. This is an important concept in performance testing. In any performance testing, okay, you use load runner, you use QA load, you use any type of tool here. This terms, whatever I am teaching you right now, it is applicable to all the tools. It is basically the performance testing terminology. Okay, in this terminology, the first word what I am explaining you is transaction. Okay, what is transaction? I'll explain you. See here, if you observe, the step 1 has start application, step 2 has username and password, step 3 is click on sign in button. Okay, step 4 is I am waiting for confirmation. But the client says, the client gives you the requirement. Hi Rupesh, I would like to know the time it is taking for the logging into the application. Okay, whatever may be the application, you have an application with you. I am the client to you. I gave you an application. I am asking you, Rupesh, how much time will it take for the sign in or the logging into the application? Okay, if that is the case, you have a scenario: starting application, entering user ID, password, clicking on submit. But you have the complete process like selecting to value, from value, and then clicking on submit. This is an entire business process. Correct? You have 8 steps here.
Yes, ma'am.
You have 8 steps, but the client is asking you only the time it is taking for you to just do the step 3. How do you isolate this? So this is the question. How do you isolate this? It is in terms, I am explaining you in detail, but the client doesn't know all these terminologies. What he says is, Rupesh, how much time will it take to log into this application? So this is the question which is given by client. Then you should understand a concept called transaction. What happens here is, the transaction, you can insert a timer. Transaction is nothing but a timer. You can insert a timer before the step you want to start calculating the time, and you can end the timer after the step which you want to end it. That is called the transaction. It is the time it will give you between the steps. The transaction is a timer. Okay, that symbol I will show you in the load runner tool, but the transaction is a timer. To insert the timer, you have to insert the timer before the step, and then where you want to complete the here is a step 3, click on sign in button, where you want to end the timing, and you have to inform the client that this is the time it is taking for login transaction. So if this is the time you want, you have to insert a timer and end the timer. So this timing concept is called a transaction. So I am explaining you in a very simple terms, but there might be different definitions outside. But this is it is just a timer to calculate the time between the steps. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here example they have given. So transaction is an end-to-end measurement of time elapsed in the execution of one or more steps in a business process. So this is a detailed explanation given. I said you in a very simple terms. It is a timer between the steps to calculate. That's it. So other concept is called think time. Okay, think time. The second concept is think time. Think time is nothing but to give you an example. Okay, you have opened an think that IRCTC page. Okay, you just opened it and you have entered your username, and then suddenly you got a call from somebody and you are picking the call and then you are speaking. Okay, then after that what you will do? Again you will continue with your work. This is what normally in a real-time scenario happens. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what happens is okay, that is a scenario, it happens in a real time. So if you are executing, if you are creating this scenario with a tool, what happens is the moment you have started recording this scenario, initially you have entered a username, and then because you got a call, okay, you will stop the recording. You are speaking in a phone. Then what happens is there is a concept called, there is a think time. That is a time you have waited or you have wasted after entering the username that will be recorded in the script. The think time is nothing but the time the real user takes to pause between the action. A pause between the actions can be considered as a think time. So this is not you are actually thinking. This is because of some scenarios you are not able to proceed with the current step. It might be anything. So that is called think time. A pause between the user actions can be considered as a think time. So here they have given an example. The detailed definition is measurement of time that a real user takes to pause between the execution of steps in a business process and all. But still a pause between the user actions can be considered as a think time. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And also one more thing to say, suppose the client says for signing into this application it should take only 3 seconds. Okay, and sometimes suppose it might take 4 seconds or 5 seconds. So you should understand which is acceptable and you should understand which is not acceptable time. So the moment they give you the timings, what you have to understand is which is acceptable. Suppose the client says it is 3 seconds. So you should differentiate them, like for 50 people 3 seconds and 100 people it is taking 4 seconds, and beyond that it is taking this much time. So you should understand keeping these concepts in mind. So they gave you in this picture, if you see the business process, here view flight booking. To view the flight booking, the acceptable time is 8 to 12 seconds. So they will not give you the exact seconds time, like for logging in it should be only 3 seconds. It is not the time which is provided by the client. What they actually give is they will give you the duration. Okay, suppose if it is 3 to 5 seconds also it's okay. So the acceptable times you should understand. The client will say in terms of conceptual if he is not from performance testing background, but still you have to convert that conceptual goals into measurable metrics. So once you convert that into measurable metrics, it is a duration. It is not the exact time. So what you have to see is 8 seconds to 12 seconds, and unacceptable is if it is taking beyond 20 seconds, then it is very much unacceptable. So keeping these metrics in mind, you will start your performance testing project. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So today I did not cover how many types of performance testing we have. We will cover it in the later. But today I just want, because I have installed LoadRunner in my system, I want to show you the 3 components of LoadRunner. Okay. You understood why we are going for LoadRunner, not going for other tools. we have, I already told you
Yes,
that
ma'am.
it has 80% of the market share and it has lot of protocols to support and it is very much good and
56
accurate.
protocols you have told me.
Yeah. So that is why we are going for load runner. So the procedure I told you, I sent you that installation guide. Same procedure even I have followed. Everything is worked fine and it took me around 2 hours to download and then I was able to install it perfectly. Okay. So let me explain you those architecture things in real. Okay. Are you able to see my screen now? Able to see, right? Desktop.
It's appearing, ma'am. It's appearing.
Okay. If you see here,
No,
these
ma'am.
three icons.
It appear. Desktop is appearing, ma'am.
Okay. So if you see here, these three icons. First one is
Yes, ma'am.
virtual user
Analysis, virtual
generator.
gen.
Yeah, controller and analysis. These are
Yes,
the
ma'am.
three icons which are displaying for me once I installed load runner. I have installed a version of 11.50. Okay, we have earlier versions also. We have 11. Now currently 11.52 is going on. Okay, 11, 9, many versions we have. Okay, every version will have some advanced feature and they will release it to the market every year. And okay, so this is about that also you have to prepare while preparing for the interview. So what is the difference you have observed from, suppose you say that you are an experienced professional or for 3 to 4 years, they'll ask you, so how many versions of load runner have you worked? I have worked on 9, 11, 11.5. So they'll ask you what are the advancement features you have observed in these versions. So you should prepare, all these are theoretical questions. So before going into interview, you have to concentrate on these type of questions. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so coming to that, these are the three icons. As I told you, these are the three icons that will contribute or constitute as load runner. So I have opened virtual user generator. Okay, to explain you in detail about three icons. See, virtual user generator is used for preparing script, preparing a business process. Only that can be done using this icon. So virtual user generator is been only used for preparing a script. Controller, as I told you, it is a master for everything. It is just used for execution. That you want to execute with 1,000 people, you can do it in the controller. 2,000 people, 3,000 people with the help of load generators, you can do it with controller. Coming to the analysis phase, what it actually does is analysis. It will just, whatever the execution is, once the execution is completed, it will just open you some graphs and all these graphs of that particular execution, and you can understand the pattern and you can see the response time, how is it behaving with a huge number of huge load, and all this information you can analyze using the third part. Are you clear about these three components? Which one is used for what?
Yes, ma'am.
First one is scripting, second one is execution, third one is analysis. These are the three components. So coming to the first component, in our later sessions we will use the first component. We have to keep our script perfectly ready to execute it. So we will go for controller at the later stages, but we will use the virtual user. We will use a virtual user generator at the initial phases, and you should understand what are the different options available and all this stuff in virtual user generator. Okay. Okay, so I have opened the virtual user diagram here. Okay, please see this. So the moment I double clicked this virtual user generator, so this is the screen it displayed to me. Are you able to see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the look and feel, it is like Java Eclipse. Okay, but if you go to earlier versions like 11, it is very much different from this one. You will observe a lot difference only in Vusion, but controller and all, it is almost same. You will observe lot of difference, but all the options which are available here in this tool is same. Okay, So let me explain you some options here in the file dialog. Okay, we have file, edit, view, search, design, record, and all this stuff. I'll explain you first. Let me first go to create.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the moment I create, okay, the moment I create, if I create a new script, what it is saying is create a new script. Okay, you should understand what is script is. A script is a combination of steps. It is a simple business process what you want to create. So before that, you should understand what is a business process. I already explained you what is business process. It is some activity. It is some group of steps which are to be done to accomplish an activity. So that is called,
Yes, ma'am.
that is called a business process. To complete a business process, a script, we are using virtual user generator. In the virtual user generator, the moment I click to create, what it is saying is it has opened me this window. Okay, all these are,
I'll interrupt here.
yeah.
Thing is, for the business process, what you are telling, we will also tell as scenarios, no, ma'am.
We will also tell
Scenarios.
scenario is different. Scenario,
Okay.
okay, scenario also I explained you yesterday. Scenario is like what business process to use, how many users to use, okay, what load generator to incorporate. So scenario
Okay.
will be used for creating in only controller for, during execution. That is different.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, this is different. This is business process. We create a script. What script to use? I said. So to create a script, how to proceed creating a script. This is this concept. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
See, if you see here, create a new script and the category, if you see, we have multiple protocols. The second one is single protocol. Okay, first you should understand, as you told me yesterday very clearly, that what is a protocol. It is just just rules and standards. Protocol is nothing but rules and standards with which it can communicate. It is to communicate with each other. They will have some set of rules and regulations. So using that rules and regulations, they will communicate each other. So if you observe, these are the different protocols: .NET, Ajax, C, Citrix, Domain. So you can ask me like which protocol to use to what application. Okay, we are not sure. For each application, this is the protocol. So the technology, they suppose if it is a .NET technology, then the .NET protocol might be used for recording a script. Suppose if it is a Citrix related application, you have to use a Citrix ICA protocol. If it is a Java protocol, you have to go with the Java vUser protocol. So it depends. We are not sure. Looking at the application, we cannot say that this is the protocol which is used for this particular application. Okay, you have to do a proof of concept and show to the client that this protocol is been, this load runner is used and this is a protocol we are using to record this application. So each time you get an application, you just try to record with different protocols and understand which protocol is being used. Suppose if it is an Oracle application, you will go with an Oracle. See, suppose you have Oracle Web Applications, Oracle NCA, PeopleSoft. So it depends on the applications and also the technology they have used on the a website, any web application. Clear? All these are the different protocols.
All these details can be provided by the technical architect, no, ma'am?
These details while installing, okay, they'll have some functional guide. Nobody can give you the complete information on these. They'll just tell you how the code looks. That's it. Usually in our sessions, if you go to any training, they will only cover you one protocol which is called web protocol. Okay, web protocol, usually it is by default protocol which is used for most of the applications. If you see here, web HTTP HTML. Okay, so this is the protocol which we will be using it. And also if you can use other protocols, because real time outside examples, okay, normal examples, we have applications which will be working on web HTTP HTML is a protocol which we mainly use for recording any application.
Okay, what I told was different, ma'am. You can go ahead with this web protocol only. The thing is, uh, there are technical architects. No, they will be knowing what are all the technologies used behind the design. So if we approach them, they'll be directly guiding us what are all the protocols that we are supposed to use for our performance testing.
Yeah. Obviously, you have to go and approach them. What is the technology? Once you know the technology, also you have to select the particular protocol in LoadRunner, record that application, and see whether the code is getting recorded or not. Sometimes, if that application it is not able to record what it says, it will not communicate properly. The code will not be recorded. So at that case, there will be a chance that you cannot communicate, you cannot confirm to the client that this is the one which is used based on the developer's words or based on some technical operator's words. You have to do it on your own and then see if it is really working, then you can inform them. Definitely we have to approach them. I said, right, all the information we have to get it from either developers or people who has worked on it. We have to approach them. But before approaching, after once they say something, you have to work on it and then prove to the client that really it is, because based on your words, because you are the performance lead, they'll give you the complete project. So it is your responsibility to ensure that it is working.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for our classes purpose, we will go to web HTTP, HTML, and web click and script also will be the same, and through Ajax, TrueClient, almost everything will be almost similar. Okay, because I have worked on these things, everything will be similar. But to give you an example, we don't have real-time examples of applications, because I have to show you one web application. Inside that web application, we have to take a business process, and then we have to record that particular script and then edit it, and then we have to run that application. So to give you a detailed example, I am just going with web HTTP HTML. Okay, so this is a protocol, and suppose if you go to multiple protocols, okay, multiple protocols in the sense sometimes you are required to use two protocols at the same time. The application might be the combination of protocols. You can use only two, you cannot use multiple things.
Only two at a time.
Yeah, that is fine. Only two at a time. 1 second. Let me try with 3. I've used only 2 at a time, but 3 will it allow or not? I'm not sure. Yeah, it is allowing with 3 also. It's okay. So we can create a script with multiple protocols. It is not 2. It can be 3 or 4 also. It is not a problem. But you should understand what are the things you have to. 1 second. Okay, so you have to understand which ones to select, which are the protocols which is working, or so you have to select 3 protocols. But there is some tie-up between these protocols also. You cannot take Oracle Web Applications and Oracle NCA at the same time, so that you have to understand. See, in the Oracle section you have, see here these are disabled, because which are not supported by multiple protocols are disabled here. You no need to worry. Okay, I cannot take these two at the same time. Oracle Web Applications 11i and Oracle NCA at the same time I cannot take, because Oracle Web Applications 11i is a combination of Oracle NCA. So because this is a separate protocol available, you cannot take a combination of these 3. So there are some constraints in selection of these protocols, but these are disabled at this point of time, so you no need to worry. So there are very less applications where you have to take the multiple protocols. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the 2 things I have explained you. Then please switch to small icons. Okay, these are some icons. Script name. So the moment you select the protocol, it will ask you what is the script name you have to give. This is simple name you can give. The naming standard for the script also I will explain you. So the naming standards also will be have to consider, because see, you have in the same application, you will have the same application. In the same application, you have to prepare a script for login. You have to prepare a script for searching for an application, and then booking of an ticket, searching a product, and then buying a product, ordering a product, and all these are in the same application. So you should understand how you have to name a particular script. So suppose if this is a script, it will start with SC01 underscore. Okay, what is an application name. Application name, suppose think it is I'm using WebTours. WebTours application underscore login. This is my script. Suppose if it is a searching thing, search product. Okay, go to sc02 underscore WebTours underscore search product. So that it will be in a sequence for you. So this is 01 script. First script I prepared login on this application, and this is the first one. Second time when you use it, it is sc02 underscore WebTours underscore other application. So all these are the naming standards you have to use while preparing a script. Because if multiple people, if you are 5 to 6 people, 7 people are working in an application, suppose you give some standards and some other people will give some standards. These standards will reflect you at the time of analysis. That the analysis, when you are presenting it to the client will see what are the different naming conventions. Have you not followed any approach or something? They will ask you all this information. So you have to be careful while following the naming standards. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The location, what it actually do is where the location the script is getting saved. That they will explain you in this location. And other one is to explain you protocol advisor. Let me click protocol advisor. Protocol advisor is nothing but this is a concept in LoadRunner. What they will say is you can give an here application type is web and give some go to Mozilla. So this is a browsers. Okay, go to www.google.com. So this is this one, and then you are giving. So suppose if you are not sure about the protocols to use for any web application, they have a concept called protocol advisor. I told you that you said that you will go to some technical experts and ask what is the technology, and based on the technology you said that you will select the protocol list. But they have another concept also, protocol advisor. What they actually do is it does is you can give www.google.com as an URL address, and you will ask it to start analyzing. But whatever the results this protocol advisor give, it is a junk. It will not work because it will give some protocols like some DCOM, some, even though if it is working with some normal things, it will ask some normal things in the sense, suppose if the application is working with web application also, web HTTP HTML protocol also, it will suggest you use DCOM or something. So whatever output it is coming from the protocol advisor, don't trust it. It is very bad. But in the interviews they might have asked you a concept called what is protocol advisor, have you used it, have you tried it? So they might ask you this question also. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any information, any doubts till now?
No, ma'am.
Because today I told you what is a business process, what is a transaction, what is a think time. Okay, so I've showed you what are the 3 icons, what a LoadRunner, what each icon will be used, and I told you clear explanation between scenario and business process. There is a difference. What is an acceptable response time without a measurable, which is acceptable and unacceptable things. So all these things I've explained you. So is it bombarding? Did I tell you more information today, or is it confusing?
No, ma'am. You can continue.
I can continue, right? Okay. So now
Today is a holiday, ma'am.
okay. So it is saying here, it is analyzing. If you see here, the icon, are you able to see this?
Ma'am, I leave for you. I wish to continue. It's up to you to decide, ma'am.
No, I just want to complete this protocol thing, and then I just want to give you the homework so that we can close it. So see, are you able to see this protocol advisor thing? It is showing you analyzing, and some events are getting recorded. 1497, and the time lapsed also it is showing you here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is maximizing or this is pinning. It will reduce. So what it actually sees is the moment it opens an application, it will start analyzing. It will start speaking with the background, and then it will tell you that these are the protocols. It might suggest you. It will not give you the exact results as I told you. It might suggest you that these are the protocols you can use, but it is waste. But what is the time you have started analyzing it? It is showing you here. Okay, you can click finish analyzing. It will give you something. So it is about to give something. It will take some time. Okay, so this protocol advisor is one concept where it will suggest you some protocol. See, application name is Microsoft Internet Explorer, URL address is Google. It has started. We detected the following protocol in your business process. One is web HTTP HTML. Thank God it gave one protocol, and other one is True Ajax. Anything you can use. Emulation of, and what are this extra, what each protocol is all about and why. So this is the advisor. This is how the report will show you. Any doubts in this?
We should use one or both, ma'am, in this
No,
case?
one would do. Web protocol will do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is called protocol advisor concept in Vusion. First, initially we just opened a create box and I've explained you what are the options available. Other than this, I don't think any new options available.
This is a new option, no? Protocol advisor.
No, this is not the new option. So I'm telling you, I have covered all the options in the create dialog box. There are no other options.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the, so once after that we will create it, and then tomorrow we will see in detail other options like how to record, what are the options available, with what options you can see. That is one more thing. And
Yes.
to give a detailed today's work. So any doubts? One more thing I want to ask. Any doubts till now, today's session or yesterday's session? Are you not clear about something, or so that we can close it daily if you are not clear?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going through the architecture types I'll come up with, and the next up is kinds of servers you told me, ma'am.
Yes.
In general, observed
Hmm.
like proxy server, etc. And it comes to around 6 to 7 types of server,
Okay.
like application server, DB server, then image server, and then likewise proxy server, and it has got around
Yeah. You just show me with a diagram, okay? What you have told proxy server, all the servers will be there. You just show me with a diagram. I'll explain you why this particular server is been inserted here. What is a proxy server? You just show me with a diagram, because I cannot give you, see, the first step itself, because you have searched, you know that these are servers available. Without you knowing it, if I am telling us proxy server blah blah blah, I'm bombarding you with information that I don't want to do, because you have searched it. You are asking me why, then if I'm explaining you, then you will remember it and it will be useful to you. So you just bring me the diagram,
Yes, ma'am.
show me that. So before starting tomorrow's session, we'll just cover that architecture diagram, and then we'll proceed with the normal class.
Yes, ma'am. I'll definitely do it. Today's homework, ma'am.
Today you just complete that architecture. Nothing is to be done today, because once recording we start, I can give you more things. Like I can ask you to do parallelly scripting in your thing. But only one thing, just install LoadRunner. That is what I need from you today.
I'll install, ma'am, definitely.
Okay, install LoadRunner, and then you complete it. I'll parallelly see what is the issue with the forum. So why is it not posted, or I'll just look at that issue and I'll solve.
One more thing, ma'am.
Yeah.
Regarding the editing steps, making bold and editing with the colors and all, it's not accepting them in the forum. We need to,
I didn't get your question.
for example, while posting some data
Hmm.
or information, we are going to highlight some information with bold, italics,
Okay.
and underlining, and putting with different colors. It's not happening instantly. It's directly showing the what HTML or some data otherwise.
Okay. Because I have just posted a question. I have not seen that. Let me see what is that, and I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay, I'll just work on it today, and I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, Rupesh. So if you have any queries, you drop me an email, and I'll try to send you the today's session.